So this morning I saw a video from a clinic that I follow. I really love their content. It's a clinic called Jarrettsville, and I don't remember where they are in the States, but a lot of the content is put out by one of their veterinarians, who I assume is the owner. And I really like their content. Having been in the veterinary industry for 29 years now, I have seen a lot of things. I've been in a lot of aspects of it. And what she's saying in her videos don't really get said out loud very often. And not surprisingly, she's got some backlash from other clinics. But the video I saw this morning was really interesting because, in one sense, having come from a veterinary background, to me, it's a clear sign that the clinic is a great place to work. On the other, if you don't really have much experience or knowledge about the veterinary industry, or you're curious about it, you could easily have a perception that would not be very accurate of, I think, most clinics out there. So the video talked about, it was just a lot of their staff. It seems like a fairly large clinic, and a lot of their staff have been there for a very long time. So there's just a quick video that kind of captured just different staff members just stating how long they've been with the clinic. And most of them had been there for 5 to 10 years plus, some of them 20 or more. And it really is a huge testament to the clinic that people are staying there and working there for that long, because although a lot of clinics do have some long-time employees, for the majority of the staff to have been there for so long is actually really indicative of what the clinic and the atmosphere and that culture is like. And although there's a lot of clinics that have some long-term employees, the actual turnover and the amount of time that, or the amount of years that people have been there, and how many of those staff members have been there for that long, is really a good indication. So when you're looking at clinics, or you're looking to apply somewhere to work, that's one really good question to ask is, or look into at the very least is, how is their staff turnover? How long have staff been there for? Because it really gives you a good indication of, is this a good place to work? And I feel like, the clinic making this video is just a really good testament to them, but it doesn't really give you the overall picture of what it's like to work in a clinic or the animal care field in general, because it's not the norm. And that's coming from me who, like I said, I've been in the vet industry since the late 90s. I started in high school, worked for a couple of years in a clinic, in a really great clinic. I was lucky to have started off somewhere really great. And then I went to school to become a technician, and then I was a registered technician for 20 years. So I've been in the vet industry for 29 years now this year. And I have also worked in a lot of clinics, a lot of different aspects of the industry. So I think I've seen a lot of different sides of it, and a lot of different clinic teams and atmospheres and just type of workplaces. And so I can definitely say that while it's a great accomplishment to have that many staff remain in your clinic for so long over the years, it's not something you typically see. Although like I mentioned, it's a really good indicator as to how the culture is within the clinic. And having worked in veterinary software, having worked in different areas of the field, but mainly it's the clinics that really, I think, are impacted by the culture the most. And having worked at, how many clinics now? 14 clinics? And that's not counting my jobs that are not clinic related. I think about 14. That's how many I've worked in since I started in clinics, like I mentioned, in high school. So, I've seen a lot of different teams, and so if you're interested in seeing the video or the content that this clinic puts out, which is a really healthy way that clinics can operate. And I think just the message from their vets and their staff is a different one than you may experience as a pet owner, but it's definitely something to strive for when you're looking at working in the clinic. It's a really great example of what you want to strive for and what we call in the veterinary industry a unicorn clinic. What a unicorn clinic looks like, where you can not only find a great team and a great atmosphere, but you can remain in long term and have that longevity that a lot of the clinics and a lot of veterinary staff members don't experience. Me having worked in 14 different practices is not necessarily a great thing. I wish I was one of those people who found a wonderful clinic to work at right off the bat and stayed there. But it didn't happen that way, and I did clinic hop whenever I felt like the medicine wasn't great or the treatment of the staff wasn't great, or both. Sometimes I moved, and that was one of the reasons that I also had to give up a few clinics that were really great. So when you're thinking about either going to apply to school to be in some kind of an animal care role, or you're looking at applying to a vet clinic or some kind of animal care job, it definitely is really worthwhile to find out how long staff have been there, and just how you feel when you're there. Do people genuinely like each other? Do they enjoy each other's company? Do you sense some tension? You can always feel that when you walk into a clinic as to whether people are tense, people are genuinely happy to work with each other. And if you're ever able to do a working interview and spend a few hours with the staff members before you accept a job, this is one of the really great things to find out as you're chatting with staff members as to how long they've been there. I think it'll give you some really useful information when you make your decision.